All right. Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing? Let me straighten out my face here. Oh, my goodness. What a weekend, huh? I'm so excited. I was just checking out. I've been, even before the summit even kicked off, I've been like working in my room, getting things situated, and I feel so much better already. So, how about you all? Are you feeling better as well? And if so, what's the biggest change that you've been able to make? I would love to hear from you. Let's see if people pop in. Let's see, comment. Oh, yay. Okay, I have had the wrong tab on. So now I'm here. Oh, hello. Yes, what's my best organization tip, Mary? Mine is actually not as physical an organization tip. It's more mindset. And I think one of the best things I did for myself was to kind of get clear on what season of crafting life I was in. And so I really tried to get honest about certain things that I just wouldn't do or make time for. My life is changing so drastically right now. So just kind of having that inner dialogue of figuring out, what am I really into? How has my taste changed? I noticed I'm not doing a lot of coloring lately. I'd like to do some more. So it's not like I'm purging my markers or anything, but just kind of paying attention to what I'm doing, That's sort of the first thing that comes to mind. But then organization tangibly, I have lots of those ideas. Okay, I see a question. What inspires you when it comes to organizing? Um, I am a I think I'm a tidy kind of person in that everything having its own home inspires me. I find cleanup super simple that way. So I like to set up my space in that manner. It has a home when I'm done with it, and it's likely at my fingertips. So that really inspires me, and it also inspires creativity for sure. So yeah, tidiness I think inspires me. Nerd alert. Yes. I do I stand or sit? Oh gosh, that's such a good question. I've gone through both. Right now I sit. And the reason I was standing before was because I had items and supplies around my craft room more. And so it was easier for me to just stand and keep moving, which is much better for me, I'm sure. But now I have 90% of what I need at my fingertips. And so I just kind of sit. I put a show on and I just relax. So why I'm out of breath right now, because I have to go out and get a walk every now and again. And I just went around the neighborhood. So let me take a deep breath. Calm down. Okay. Jan says, I love all your thrifty dollar store tips, but what organizing things do you splurge on? First thing that came to mind is my ink towers. Yeah, I splurged on. Well, okay. I waited till they were 50% off, but I still splurged on them. So I got them from scrapbook.com, and they're the white acrylic ink towers, and I love them. And so I have a bunch, and they take up a small footprint against my wall. And yeah, I kind of splurged on those for sure. I have some other. Oh, also the magnetic sheet I showed you in the video. That was kind of a splurge in the immediate, but I think long term it's going to save me a lot of money. How long did it take you to get your craft room complete? Is 12 years an appropriate answer? um, it took me a long time. So I still feel like I'm making adjustments, but I think it was in this room. Let's keep it to this house, right? In this house, I would say it took me about 2 years to figure out exactly what I needed, wanted, and what was going to keep me inspired. So it did take me a while to get it to the way that I want it. And it's exactly how I want it now, which kind of feels good. But yeah, I started off in a corner, and you evolve over the years, and then you buy too much stuff and you need a bigger house. You know how it is. How large? Okay, so my craft room, it is actually pretty big. So measurements. I really need to measure this room because I get asked this question a lot. I'm going to say, we're going to eyeball it here today, folks. I'm going to say it's probably a 20 by maybe anywhere from 15 to 20 feet by 40. I don't know. That seems pretty big. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big room. And then I use the closet space, as you probably saw in some of the pictures I showed. I use the closet space as storage, so that keeps everything over there. This room is not just a craft room, though. It's my entire home office, which both of my businesses are run from this office. And so I wanted more. I'm in here all day, so I needed more space. But yeah, it's pretty big. I need to do an updated tour. I promise I am doing an updated tour because the last one I did, still this room, very different. Okay, cardstock categories. Yeah, a rainbow order for the solid and pattern papers, but I don't know how to include my themed collection and stickers. That's a really good question. So for cardstock and paper, I would say 85 to 90% of my cardstock is white. And so I have that categorized by what kind: watercolor, Bristol, regular, and then the weights. So I have that categorized that way. I have a neutral collection that I keep all together. And then I have pattern paper from scrapbook.com, pattern and colored cardstock that stay in their envelopes, their pads. So I just keep them organized that way and all together. But I really love the idea of magazine holders for 8.5 by 11 sheets. I think that looks amazing, and you can probably pick some up at Dollar Tree. So yeah, maybe keep that, and then maybe an envelope inside of it with your scraps. Yes, the links in my oh, thank you for saying they're fabulous. In the freebies, yeah, they will. There's no expiration on the I think it was there may be a 6-month expiration on the booklet if you were an ultimate bundle purchaser, but the free resource folder, no, there's no limit to that. You can keep that forever. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so the drawers sit on, so think of a drawer that comes out from a dresser. They have those. You ever put together like an IKEA dresser? They have those. Those, what are they called? The metal pieces right there. And then they also have the rolls on the wood. So their wood is coming in and out like that based on the sliders. I'm using super technical terms here. I know my husband, if he was overhearing me, he'd be like, step aside. And so what I can do is I can record that up close so you have a really good look at it, because that is incredible use of space that's not being used. So yeah, so they just roll in and out, and they're very, very sturdy. It's on real wood, very thin, but real wood. And so I was able to staple the magnetic sheet to the wood. Yeah, I hope that helps, but I'll probably do a closer up video for you. My embossing folders are actually, I don't have a lot. I have ones that I just love and use a lot, but I have them in just one container, one clear plastic container, and labeled, I believe, or I need to label it, embossing folders. So I probably don't have a lot of great ideas if you have a lot of embossing folders, because I really have maybe about, when I say a few, I have about 7. So they all fit nice and neat into one place. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that was, and this is one of those testaments of like, I promised myself if I wasn't going to use those 2 boards, because now there's 2. I think in the video there might have only been 1 shown. Now I have 2. If I wasn't going to use those boards, I was going to get rid of them. And so I really committed to finding a use for them, even if it wasn't going to be holiday themed. And I love having them right there. And not to mention, it just like looks cool. Isn't that like the other part of our craft space, is the aesthetic? I don't know, for me it is. Okay, Tiffany says, what very low cost organization, what are a few of your favorites? Well, up until I splurged on the ink towers, the cassette tape holders for, you can find those at thrift stores. Those for ink was incredible. I saved so much money on using those, and they looked really nice on the wall. So that is one major cost savings. And then, like, I don't know if it's organization. I would say like Dollar Tree. I was going to say Dollar Tree, like glass, anything glass. I find is like high-end looking. And so if you get glass jars and you organize some of your embellishments in there, things like that, I love that because it's a very inexpensive way to kind of up the ante of the look of your room. So yeah, so that's a good question. Yeah. My oh boy. So my husband is like, he's got like a whole Home Depot in the garage. And so I don't know where he got those sliders. I'm sure he could let me know. If I when I post this video and I talk about it, I'll be able to try to find something to link. But I would say any Home Depot type of store would you'd be able to find the sliders there because they're really, and he might have taken them off an old dresser we were throwing away, like an IKEA thing. I really don't know. I try to stay out of the garage. Else I go because I am very organized and I can't go in the garage because it's just a hot mess. Okay. But he always knows where everything is. What's the organization solution you have that you are most proud of? I think my stencil, it's so simple. I know. My stencil in a binder has been, I'm never going to change it from then because I just, it won't. It's so pretty, compact in one place. And then I have to say the new die storage I made in the binder for the video, I was like trying it out because I need a new die storage and like taking on that topic really pushed me. And when I did it, I went back after the video and I filled my binder full of dies. And so now I have dies on the rolly, on the wall, and in the binder. That's it. And so, yeah, I'm really, really proud of that because it did take maybe a couple hours of cutting up everything and getting it situated in the binder, but it's made it so much easier. I open and pull. I don't have to go through a bunch of different envelopes. And I hate to admit this, everybody, but I am kind of lazy when it comes to, and I don't mean to be, it's not like lazy, but like if I have to go and, search for something, I'm probably just not going to use it. And so, yeah, this has really changed the game for me. I don't need to see everything, but is it heavy? I mean, yeah, I would say it's definitely not light, but let me grab it. We can do that, right? Hold on. Yeah, I'd say it weighs probably about 5 pounds, I would say. And so, hang on. So yeah, so I went back and I did, where am I at? Yeah, I went back and did, and then I'm going to flip it. What I did, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the video, I put a sheet or two of the page protectors in between. I don't know if you have to do that, but I didn't want the magnetic pieces sticking to each other. So I kind of separated them that way, and that made it a lot better. So see, and then I had my daughter go through and put little barriers and label each of the die sets. You see that? That's new. You didn't see that in the video. So yeah, I would say, I don't know if I'm eyeballing the weight. I'm arm balling the weight. All right. Let my 14-year-old not in here to hear that. Okay. Do I have a specific color background paper for my stencil storage? I don't really like white because I can't see the image as fast. So the backgrounds of the most of the stencils I have are scrapbook.com and they already come gray. So I just keep the insert in there. Very specific and good question. Yeah, so I just don't like white cardstock. I would use a colored cardstock for that. Stencil binder and wondering what kind of binder you used. Yes, so I have the 6x8, but I actually have 3 of them. So I can't I have a hard time getting rid of stencils. So this is the example here. Let me get into the camera. Okay, so this is my stencil binder. It's a 6x8 binder. I splurged. Oh, back to the splurge question. This is a plush binder for no other reason than it feels pretty. Okay, so then I keep them just like that. And see how the insert is gray? Hold on, this one's flopping out. This is a test or a note to myself that I have too many in here. Okay, so yeah, so that's how I do it. And you can see the label is already on the insert, so I don't even have to redo that. I hope that was helpful. But yeah, 6x8. I don't really have any stencils bigger than that. What chair? What chair do I have? Uh, a thrifted chair from the thrift shop because that's how the Polancos do it in this house. It's a office chair, and it's got the whole up and down, back and forth, like something you'd see in an office. It's pretty lame, but it works. Magnetic roll sheet is very sturdy. Yes, but if you're talking about the binder, I wouldn't say you have to use this, but I had chipboard, like black chipboard that I just used to attach it to increase the sturdiness. So I did choose to do that. You could probably use a thick piece of cardstock or nothing at all. It is really sturdy, the stuff I got. I just wanted to take the curl out of it. That's why I chose the chipboard. Okay, some of my dies are big. Do you use scrapbook? Oh, I just make cards, actually. I've only ever made one full scrapbook, and I started my daughter's right before she was born and said, when she's born, what do babies do? I'll have all the time in the world to finish that one. I've never been humbled quicker. And so that's it. I have one scrapbook done before I had children. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you too. Yes, feel fine, Lisa, about 3 binders of scents. You feel fine about 10. Okay, is there a technique you've tried that you really disliked? Oh boy. Yeah. And then I'm blanking. I remember trying it and going, that's not for me. Oh, I'll have to come back to that one because there are. Most of the techniques I try, you know what it is? Probably I'm not much of a grungy type of, when I say grungy, like the vintage brown type of mixed media. I like mixed media, but I like it to be like softer colors. So probably that's not my style, like the real dark colors. But I can't remember that one technique I tried. I'll have to think about it. Oh, coloring with pencils. That's a no-go for me. It takes too long. I don't have the patience. My magnetic roll is, I got it from Amazon. When I bought it, it was $55 and it's huge. So big. Meaning long, like 20 feet or something. But now I think it's went up $20. So that's where I got it. Oh, what mill? I don't know. But if you click the link, it'll have all the specs in there. Yeah, but I don't know offhand. I'm sorry. Do you have a favorite paper trimmer? Yeah, the Tonic paper trimmer is my favorite. Both, I have the large one and the 8.5 by 8.5 something. You'll see that one's I use all the time. But they're guillotine, so those are my favorite paper trimmers. But I did a paper trimmer review, and people swore by the Fiskars. What is the number one storage solution you tried and wanted to toss it out the window? Let me think about that. I don't like stuff in my face, I guess. So anything where it's all over the place, messy, I don't like that. That's a good question. I'm going to think about that. And I love how you phrased it. I wanted to toss it out the window. Yeah, Laurel. Yeah, Fisker's trimmer. I've heard such good things about. Let me see. It's out of stock right now. Stinker. Yeah, maybe. I don't know what. Best Black ink. Best Black ink for me. Coloring with alcohol markers. I may have to go different inks. So Memento. It will always be Memento unless they change the formula for me. But for watercoloring, VersaFine Nocturne Claire. And those are the 2 black inks that I have and use. And I've done a review on, I think, 10 for alcohol markers. And to me, Memento came out. Well, it's in my science lab on YouTube. You can see that came out on top for me. Any more questions? Best white ink for sentiment stamps. Oh, that's a good one. I still have a Stampin' Up! White craft ink that I have since, 12 years ago? It's still wet. I don't know how it does it. I like that one, but I would highly recommend heat embossing your white sentiments. I haven't found a white ink that is as crisp as heat embossing powder. Scrapbook.com white pigment ink is great. Yep. When did I first start crafting? Can I share that, team? I don't know if we have time, but I'll just start and then you just cut me off. first started crafting, I was in the Air Force and I was stationed in England and I was bored. I know, how could you be in Europe? But I was alone, had no family, no kids, and a friend was going to a Stampin' Up party, and I was like, "That's super lame. Why would I want to do that?" she she was like, "You have nothing else to do." I said, "True." So I went, and on our first trip there, we did heat embossing, and I fell in love immediately. And I was like, "This is magic in front of me." I felt like a kid again. You could play, and so yeah, that was year was 2007. So that's when I started this crafting. But ever since I was a kid, I was making stuff and drawing stuff and all that. Thank you so much, everyone. This was so fun. I'm so grateful for you all here and for asking me questions. And I hope the video was helpful, got your thought juices flowing. And we'll see you in the next one.